Are you ready to experience the most transformative cosmic event of 2025? Mars Retrograde is not just a celestial phenomenon, it's a profound call to reset, rethink, and redefine your understanding of power and purpose. But this time, it's different. This Mars Retrograde will hit in ways we've never seen before. Join David Lawrence Palmer, the Leo King, a world-renowned celebrity astrologer, for an exclusive live event streaming on High Vibe TV. This isn't just another astrology event. It's an immersive experience that dives deep into the astrological and personal implications of this rare Mars retrograde. You'll gain insights and tools to fully embrace this cosmic shift and transform your life. David will guide you through the unique placements of Leo and Cancer during this Mars retrograde, the rare and impactful Pluto opposition, and much more. As always, expect special surprises and exclusive revelations that only the Leo King delivers. Discover how Mars retrograde impacts every area of your life, your love life, career, manifestation, and direction. Learn how to turn its challenges into opportunities for personal empowerment. Gain a new understanding of power, both personal and global, and how to truly harness it for your own growth. Have questions? You'll get the chance to ask David live during the Kanda session, or send your questions in advance to pr@highvibe.tv. Don't miss this opportunity to connect with the cosmos, understand its messages, and align yourself with the energy of the year ahead. From the Mars perspective, this is the beginning of a long period of Aries influence, and understanding it now is critical. Save the date, December 12th, 2024, at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern. Streaming live exclusively on High Vibe TV. Reserve your spot today. Click below to join this one-of-a-kind live stream and embark on your cosmic reset. Premium Plus subscribers get this event included with their subscription. For others, the event is $19.99. Whether you join live or watch the recording added to your library, this experience will empower you for what's to come.
What's going on, everyone? It's David Palmer, Leo King, and welcome to your Inspirational Astrology Horoscope for this weekend of December 14th and 15th, 2024. Hope everybody is doing wonderful out there. Of course, this is a full moon in Gemini weekend with Mercury getting ready to finally station direct, but this also at the same time is a special video I just did, Mars Retrograde, Cosmic Reset. You can check that one out. Definitely you're going to want to check this one out. Oh, let's see here. Right. Oh, that's this right here. Is it this one? There it is. Mars Retrograde, Cosmic Reset. Did you know how rare this Mars retrograde is we are in right now? It's almost 4,000 years since we've seen anything come close. Did you even know? I'll give you a little basic here. Did you even know that the whole time Pluto's in Capricorn, Mars didn't even make an opposition in retrograde to Pluto in Capricorn? The whole 16-year cycle. So ask yourself, when was the last time that Mars made an opposition to Pluto in Aquarius and retrograded back into Cancer? To get that one, you have to go back almost 4 millennium. And what happened and how is it connected to 1939 and so much more, and also how to get through this one and so much. It's an awesome, you can get the recording like 3 hours and 49 minutes with questions that people had emailed and during the live chat, but it's definitely set for you to watch as if it was brand new for you, just happening, and truly about this new world and how it's going to start and the engine that is firing from it. So definitely go to highvibe.tv and click on Mars Retrograde or Mars Special at the top of highvibe.tv. Well, let's talk about this weekend, because this is a new moon weekend in Gemini, or sorry, new moon, full moon. This Mercury retrograde definitely got me. At least we're coming out of Mercury retrograde finally. Thank God. But, you know, it's not going to happen with the full moon in Gemini. It's going to happen when that moon makes its ingress into Cancer, which is kind of crazy. But so Saturday here, we are sitting here with Mercury stopping, but not fully at station yet, only doing 10 minutes that day, stopping here at 6 degrees and 29 minutes of Sagittarius. But really the big news, this Sun in Sag in opposition, well, not exactly to that full moon yet. That full moon is getting ready to apex, but the moon will cross over to Jupiter and make that square to Saturn. And we're going to really start to feel this Jupiter square Saturn energy. So we're in a lot of mutable, right? Sag, Gemini, the excitement, the spark. There's a lot of woohoos, but there's this Saturn there. It's kind of like reminding us that, you know, we all want to take these big quantum leaps into these exciting ideas or these places that we really want to go in life, but they're just not happening exactly the way fully we want. We're in North Node Aries for less than a month left. And Mars, of course, is retrograde in Leo, and it's beginning that opposition of Pluto. It's in Aquarius, of course. We've seen that Mars this week coming up to this full moon in Gemini being in opposition to Venus. Very rare, you know. Of course it happens, but it is rare. I mean, the last time Mars retrograded in Leo, of course, was back in 2009, and that was the last time you saw Venus in Aquarius making opposition to Mars retrograde in Leo. It's been 15 years for that transit. But really, I think that this is all boiling down to the mutual reception, Mercury that's stopped, the ruler of Gemini, the full moon being in Gemini, and Mercury's not moving, and it's in its detriment. Sure, there's a mutual reception. Jupiter, of course, is in Gemini, and Jupiter is the ruler of Sag, so there's that nice mutual reception, but I don't think it's enough here. The luminaries really highlighting this full moon. We've got the Saturn square to Jupiter. We've also got this full moon in square to Neptune in Pisces, right? So it's like Mars is retrograde. Mercury through the whole full moon is literally stationing and in stationary retrograde. It's not stationing direct until the moon ingresses into Cancer. So it's not the full moon that you want that full pop with. It also can be a slip crack moment, like weird events that just usually would be maybe impossible to happen logically, do, and that can go good or bad. But with this one, you know, we've got a 23-degree full moon in Gemini. Mercury's stopped in detriment. And this Mars retrograde's just begun. You know, Venus is slowing down. Okay. It's only doing a degree in 8 minutes and 8 seconds. Remember, you like to see Venus at like 113. That's about, you know, that's like full speed for Venus here. But every planet is not at its full speed. Okay? It's not. So Pluto's getting close, but that's what's crazy. Is the fastest planet in its normal, if ever you take every planet at its own speed, the only planet that's even close to going its normal fastest is Pluto. But it's still not there yet. We've only gone 1 degree in since it's stationed direct, right? So it's weird that everything is, don't pay attention to these speeds except for station. Sometimes you want to pay attention to slow understanding, but really, I hope people at Astro Gold can actually, like, maybe if they want to talk to me, we could add some cool shit to make people understand the travel of astrology better. But things are not at their full speed. Like, especially Venus is slowing down. Venus is going to be the next planet that's a personal planet that's extreme, like rare to retrograde in Aries. So Venus is only going into Pisces and Aries, and it's slowing down on its way there. And that's why you're seeing, whenever you see Venus and Mars in opposition, there's always that Mars that's retrograde and Venus is ready, right? Oh, it's starting to slow down. Like this is a rare moment. So this full moon in Gemini is trying to just figure out the weirdness. Look at the world, the drones to fucking the Diddy shit to where's the president? What is the fuck is going on, right? Is this full moon? What the fuck is going on? Mercury stopped and Sag doesn't understand. It's trying to find a needle in a haystack, and the haystack's bigger than we could even possibly fathom. And Jupiter retrograde stopped. It's not fully stopped, but it's stopped looking at Saturn, right? For the second part of the square building up here, right? There's a lot of this, not just contemplation and mental contemplation, but new stories that are trying to get going. But also there's this setback energy with Saturn in this Pisces energy of like, how do we try and understand the past, also not get lost in the past, but also, right, where we spiritually and our imagination wants to go and where we have our excitement and our ideas of where we want to go, it's not going there right away. And even with that Mars retrograde in Leo, our heart and our courage to do that is there, but maybe all the tracks aren't aligned yet, right? Things are not fully all there. Not all cylinders are firing. This North Node in Aries at the same time, right? It's coming to a close. So we're getting close to the Draconic North Node. That'll be a collective one, but also all of us individually have a Draconic chart with 0000 North Node Aries. And so this is a time for the basic part of a reset. The one I cover in my special I just did is way more intense that we're going through with this Mars retrograde. But it is something to think about with this full moon, that we're less than a month away now from North Node in Pisces. So the next full moon is right when we're coming into that North Node moving in Pisces. So like this is also this last, kind of trying to understand what has this last 17 months been about when it comes to these nodal aspects. Even with Jupiter being here, this is the first full moon here while Jupiter's been in Gemini. And it's retrograde and it's square Saturn. It's like, what? And even Mercury's opposite Jupiter, that's coming back for another opposition. There's so many oppositions. There's so many big squares happening. There's also just so much not in its normal phase at all. Even Neptune that just stationed direct, right, last weekend, literally going to go into Aries for the first time in 165 years, right? Like, I mean, this is bonkers out there. But really, it's about finding a state of mind where you're not just believing the hype, you're also not slipping down the wrong mental thoughts about things that are self-defeating. You don't want to especially self-undo right now, right? That's super high probability, right? It's easy to just try and quit or just self-destroy a situation or even subconsciously destroy things. And this is a time for you to really think straight. This could be high anxiety. This could be high worry or high doubts. And also extreme manic belief systems of something's better on the other side without actually having a fact to it. And then having like the hardcore crash of, oh shit, that was a delusion with that Saturn there and Neptune in Pisces, right? And this floor that's kind of slipping. Chiron at the same time too in Aries. It's retrograde, but at least it stations direct December 29th. We still got a while away for that, a couple weeks. So, if you really think about it, this is a world, this is a life, this is a moment, this is a reality, this is the environment, this is the bigger picture that's all trying to be understood. And it's clashing into subconscious stuff that, really I would use this full moon to be clear on, like, an observant at the same time of like, what is my pattern that I can shift here? This is about doing the internal work. Mars retrograde, finding the courage is really just about how to be happier. And that means facing those patterns, facing those things that you're not normally facing, especially North Node and Chiron and Aries. I mean, this is really a humbling time because the ego is not going to be the answer. Or doing things just alone by yourself of life only. I mean, there's things we have to do on our own, but this kind of idea that you have to achieve, even with Pluto now at Capricorn and now fully ingressed into Aquarius. I mean, this is a lot of pieces, and that is dispositing Uranus. And even if you just look at all the transits here and look at the angles, I mean, it is a wild show that is got no full answers. The only secure answers of things are the small bits of fact through communication, research, and it might not even fully be, but in the moment it might be. And this isn't a time about making dramatic moves that are about trying to add on top of things that might have weak substance underneath them, or weak structures spiritually, metaphysically, or even, you're not in the right state of mind or can't handle certain things. Like, we have to really be patient. And this is where the tapping of the foot in all of our lives, and our brain is kind of tapping itself, like how we tap our foots, like patience, waiting in a waiting room a little bit. This is our brains doing that. And then the Sag energy being like, fuck the waiting room, we don't need to be here, like a typical Sag, right? Like, oh, fuck it, who cares? Oh, no, yeah, my license is expired, right? You don't want to do that, right? So it's kind of like we're having to be responsible and do things, and the responsibility really is not fucking things up, not fucking our minds up, not tripping out, not losing our minds, not creating even our own kind of belief system, or operating off of hysteria, all the hysteria that could come out from this. Like, this is, I really wish that Mercury would station direct during this full moon in Gemini, but it doesn't. So it's really going to play out ass backward thinking. But again, the positive is the most slip cracked, unique things could happen. Like, the oversight of, like, I don't know, somebody picking up a page, but it's 2 pages and it was like your IRS file or something. I don't know. I'm just saying, but you don't rely on these things either. It's kind of just like, you'll notice there's these little things that, like, oh, that wasn't seen, or that, huh? Or what, it's just really interesting. It's going to be really weird. And the more that you're going to fight right now for some sort of stimulant of life, you're going to have a very hard battle with that. Because it's not that there's something wrong. It's more about the stimulation within that you must find. And even, this Mars retrograde in Leo is definitely going to be a lot easier than that Mars retrograde when it comes into Cancer. So, you've got this remaining part of December here with Mars and Leo. So really, this is the full moon with this air and fire. Mercury's still in fire, right? Like, this is where we want to do a lot of things. We want to go create. We want this more attainable energy that we can see, but we don't understand how we're going to get it yet. And we have to trust in a way that we haven't had to in a long time, of like, it will all work out. We will figure things out as we go. So take every moment bit by bit at this moment. You're not gonna be able to see what something feels like right now. A month from now, a week from now. It's like there's a missing piece of life, but not taking it personally and not thinking there's some void. It's more of like, fill up that space with the internal work that you could be doing on yourself, readjusting and understanding your beliefs in your mind, and making sure that you're not having old patterns in those areas, or just old patterns and habits that are causing you to make kind of crazy radical change of environment constantly, or always trying to escape into let me go travel, or let me go dive into some other place that I can go that's better, that you still can't find. Like, that's the problems that are all lying around right now. And also this obsession with trying to fix things, that you could fix the universe or something to operate faster for you. That's not going to happen. Right? I mean, even if you look at the sun, it's in semi-square to Venus. That's that telltale sign that we're getting closer to Venus coming into retrograde, right? And it's slowing down. That Venus is too far, right? And we have to remember the reason why it's starting to look really weird on this full moon is because the sun is about to approach Pluto when we get into January, of course, on the 21st, for the first time through the whole Pluto transit. And then there's Saturn on beyond that, right? So the sun's about to come into this. If you just look from now to that, we've already done the square. But, the next, 80 days or so, right? Like, this is going to be the rough patches. And then we come into these big eclipses in the North Node, Neptune, Saturn. This is this moment where we can use the mind to understand we got one hell of a journey ahead, and we've thought we've been on a journey. We have, but nothing like what's coming, because it's all compressing into what's going to be now through April. Even with this Mars retrograde, we're not going to even re-see any of these spaces until we get into May, right? I'll give you the date, but definitely go check out my Mars retrograde special. It was 1886 BC, the last time that Mars made an opposition in Leo to Pluto in Aquarius, ingressed back into Capricorn, and it, of course, had the sun in Capricorn opposite Mars retrograde in Cancer. That was the last time that it happened. Kind of scary. It's been almost 4,000 years. So, we're at a time in life that, you have to put your ancient wisdom hat on. I would say that, this is a time where, being an alchemist or being an astrologer in those days of the 1500s and 1600s, like even some of the older ones in the 15th century, 1400s, right? Like this is the time where you are so stirred up and positive of the ideas that you are, harvesting deep within and building on top of. And it's about cycling through so many ideas and feelings and thoughts that, the excitement and the buildup will eventually find the right thing. Sometimes we have to mull over things multiple times in order for it to actually find maybe a pop to where it goes to a better place. This is an amazing time for people to really do this deep inner work on mental health, on psychological work, on trying to just understand what is a way to view things differently. Sometimes we forget to clean our glass of our soul of how we see the world. And this is a great time for that. This is not the great time for external chasing with Mars retrograde in opposition to Pluto especially, but even more so, even this full moon with Jupiter, it's retrograde while it's squaring Saturn, while Mercury is in retrograde, stationing retrograde to station direct when the full moon literally ends fully after the apex, more importantly though, when it ingresses into Cancer. And it's quite crazy to me that we see this full moon really with this Eros at the same time, with the sun also conjunct it. And to me, this just reminds me of this extreme desire to just go have the blast of a life, and that we all just don't want to have to deal with any responsibility, and at the same time, it kind of reminds me of, it does kind of remind me of like toxic love for some people, like Romeo and Juliet style, where it's like, wow, you didn't even think, right? And you didn't put all those pieces together, and then you thought you could outdo the fate of the tragedy, but you can't. Right? Like trying to go against the common sense of things right now is going to be very difficult, to say the least. And we're releasing a combination of beliefs and thoughts that have not been correct, because there is changing data and changing information in reality. And, really this Mars retrograde, it's going to be difficult because it's very personal. It's going to be a Mars retrograde through Leo and Cancer. It's very personal. And so this is the first full moon and the first lunation of a new moon or a full moon, but this is the first one as a full moon with this Mars retrograde, and it's in Leo, opposite Pluto. So this personal life and our personal way that we go about things has to shift, because the world and the external things that we want are different approaches that we have to take. So we don't understand those approaches till we mull them over, think about them, get our mental health, get our spiritual life, get rid of our patterns as best as we can by surrendering to one. And this is a good time to accept compassion within yourself, let thoughts be drenched in many ways, not like drowning them, but like, honoring them and kind of like letting them flow down the river. Like that pattern, that thought pattern, the guilt feelings of why did I do this, or being self-critical can be very much hidden that we're not realizing, because it's not like it's a Virgo energy we're in right now, but it is Mercury, and it is stopped, and it is Mercury that is the ruler of Gemini, and Jupiter's retrograde here, and the full moon's illuminating this, and Mercury stopped. I mean, it's a bad traffic all over the world. Everything, it's all weird. Nothing's making sense in a lot of the outside world. Where you're going to find the most sense is inside. This is a great time to write, to understand what's deeper within yourself, and to find a positive new attitude about things, not by external achievement or things that you gain by physically having. It's going to be about the wisdom, the courage to adjust your inside, your passion inside, and find that place within that you can do your best work, and watch your outer world start to change as we come into the spring of 2025. I mean, a lot of things are not going to happen on New Year's like you think. A lot of things are not going to move fully forward for a while. And you have to, I think this is a good full moon of like the basics, understanding where we're at in the timing, understanding that nothing's just going to move forward fast. Nothing's just going to be traditionally working. The old system's over anyway. Pluto Capricorn's over. So new approaches, and also letting the unpredictable be part of the equation, that you don't have an answer, but there is a way for the equation to throw curveballs at you that can help you find more solutions, not by seeking them, but by them showing up, because there's a difference. Like, to fix a problem, it's not so much I need to go inside and figure it out. It's more like, what do I just have inside that I need to let go of and have a more positive attitude, and where's some common sense, where's some basic facts, and just go off that and wait for the next ones to come out. I think chasing research too much, again, chasing anything to find an answer is not going to be the end all answer, and it's the delusion you can create from that too. So there is no full blown answer, and so every part of life has an energy where it's not operating in a normal logical sense, and it's about acceptance of that, finding love in that still, and understanding that this is putting us into a lot of uncomfortable places because where we've been hasn't been comfortable. So it's us getting out of a hole, if you look at the wider, long view of where we'll be, say, 6 months from now, right? Where the full moon is. Like 6 months from now, when the sun's in Gemini, we'll have Saturn, Neptune, and Aries, we'll have Uranus on its way to Gemini, we'll have, a lot of big changes in the Jupiter-Saturn square about to come to their close, as that's going to be happening around that solstice time too. And Jupiter making its ingress into Cancer, it's exaltation. So I'm not basing all life on just Jupiter or something, but I'm just saying, like, there's a lot in the next 6 months that this is a full moon about where will you be in 6 months, and understanding that, and not judging it off like, well, I don't feel like I'll make it there. It's like understanding, what do I got to do inside, and slowly understand and mull things over and make more positive adjustments, and not be chasing something, and really surrendering to a lot of the subconscious and the setbacks that are deep within our soul that we are not wanting to face, the stuff we push under the rug or the stuff that we deny too. It could be very high about denial, like, no, everything was always good in my life. It's like, no, really? And also where the delusion might be, there's going to be so much chasing for objectivity and objects and physical nature, even relationships that are just all going to end bad. This is a Venus-Pluto conjunction that happened again, but this one, this Mars opposition, this is not in retrograde in Leo. You're not going to find what you're looking for. And it's not about so much control anymore because Pluto's out of Capricorn. It's much more about this idea that something will radically adjust or change right when you want it to. It's like, yeah, right. And this is also us maturing, but yet in these areas of self-undoing and all that, and also finding a way to bring our inner child back, and not the inner child that destroys things, the inner child that makes things good and positive, and also knows the wisdom of when to then contain parts of those edges and come back to the wiser spots, right? So this is your biggest wise man, woman test in how well you can be equipped in dealing with an ever-changing world where there are no answers fully right now. What something will, especially in the experience or the way that you want to try and put your mind or even your emotions to, that you could have a solid answer that makes you at least driven to go there. Like, it's almost like we're kind of wanting the carrot and the stick to at least be guiding us somewhere, but the universe is like, it's not going to go that way. So that's why I don't have the carrot fully out. But if you're imagining the carrot and trying to jump at it right now, it could be a cliff on the other side. So important full moon to pay attention to, and one that's about releasing so many ideas of how we always believed we think we should be and how we should think and how we should experience things, when we have to realize that's all being rewritten. And so we're looking at a fresh slate. At the same time, it's not like a complete fresh slate. It's like a lot of edits to the story and understanding which parts we're keeping and which parts we're not, and also which parts maybe we're rearranging and which parts are not experienced enough yet, and which parts are we putting too much energy into. And it's not about, again, some externalization of that right away. It's much more about understanding these things in extreme patience that many people don't have. And so it's kind of like tapping your foot waiting, but you could be doing something that's productive inside. And it's not going to be the shiny objects or the shiny feeling or the big party or the thing that you think will make you go excited about. This will fall on you quick if you're focused on those things. If especially, this is not a time for that like delusional candy. But at the same time, that North Node Aries and that Neptune Pisces starting to come together, and that intercepting, we do have to focus on our spiritual growth here. And, we have to envision beautiful dreams, but it's this time where it's like extreme caution and extreme implementation of common sense and what's not common sense, and understanding that where's those boundaries, where are those things at, and also our happiness, but we're not desperate happiness, and we're not cold, disconnected, and only wanting things just, the easy route. Aquarius isn't easy. It's many different things that have to come together to make things happen. All right, so what cards popping up for this horoscope for this weekend's full moon in Gemini? Mercury doesn't station direct till the chart's for 1 a.m. around, right? Sunday. So 23 degrees and 52 minutes. So another 6 degrees left and 12 hours. So about 1 to 2 p.m. Pacific on Sunday. Mercury finally stations direct while the moon ingresses into Cancer and the full moon ends. And that's not going to be our normal, oh yeah, we're figuring it all out. It's still in Sag. Still got to oppose Jupiter, and Mars is retrograde. Be very careful of the things that you jump into or try to force or even try to go after. It's so funny. I pulled the Hermit. I was going to say that earlier, but I said more wise man. But okay, it's time for us to be the wise person here. This is not a very still moment in a crazy, I mean, imagine all your thoughts and all the world like spinning, but nothing's really, it's about slowing things down to see and understand and be wise about things. And calming the nervous system down too in many ways. And even, you know, finding a place where we can be happy and satisfied with what's already happening, what already is, opposed to what our mind wants it to be, or what our ego wants it to be, or what our soul even wants it to be. That's really kind of like creating its own story or its own delusion over what would make you happier. It's definitely the grass is greener on the other side, but that's not true in this moment when you're not even on grass. 6 of Cups reversed. So I think for us, this is not what we want to be feeling, but it's about accepting it and understanding that the beautiful, safe, like gardeny, like everything going in the safe, easy street, and being able to like be in that space where we always have the understanding isn't available because we feel secure, safe. We feel like sometimes we're surrounded by the energies and so forth that we want. But this Hermit's definitely going into the cave and learning how to deal with energies that are changing around us in the world and how we're going to have to find new comforts and mainly new approaches with that, and also redefining what happiness and comfort is. And there's so much to it. Definitely check out my Mars Retrograde special. It literally is amazing work. If you really want to be mind blown, beyond mind blown, I would definitely check it out. It's so badass. You can go to highvibe.tv and just get it for $19.99, or just be a premium plus subscriber on highvibe.tv. I truly appreciate it. I'm sending you all my best through this full moon energy. I'll be honest, I've done so many horoscopes, and that is a weird ass fucking full moon. And there's a lot of positive if you understand that more inner parts of it. And again, there is that little moment for some slip crack stuff, but I wouldn't be so reliant on that. That's not going to bring you your happiness either. I appreciate you all, and I will see you on highvibe.tv. Thanks so much. Adios. Bye-bye.
Are you ready to experience the most transformative cosmic event of 2025? Mars Retrograde is not just a celestial phenomenon, it's a profound call to reset, rethink, and redefine your understanding of power and purpose. But this time, it's different. This Mars Retrograde will hit in ways we've never seen before. Join David Lawrence Palmer, the Leo King, a world-renowned celebrity astrologer, for an exclusive live event streaming on High Vibe TV. This isn't just another astrology event. It's an immersive experience that dives deep into the astrological and personal implications of this rare Mars retrograde. You'll gain insights and tools to fully embrace this cosmic shift and transform your life. David will guide you through the unique placements of Leo and Cancer during this Mars retrograde, the rare and impactful Pluto opposition, and much more. As always, expect special surprises and exclusive revelations that only the Leo King delivers. Discover how Mars retrograde impacts every area of your life, your love life, career, manifestation, and direction. Learn how to turn its challenges into opportunities for personal empowerment. Gain a new understanding of power, both personal and global, and how to truly harness it for your own growth. Have questions? You'll get the chance to ask David live during the Kanda session, or send your questions in advance to pr@highvibe.tv. Don't miss this opportunity to connect with the cosmos, understand its messages, and align yourself with the energy of the year ahead. From the Mars perspective, this is the beginning of a long period of Aries influence, and understanding it now is critical. Save the date, December 12th, 2024, at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern. Streaming live exclusively on High Vibe TV. Reserve your spot today. Click below to join this one-of-a-kind live stream and embark on your cosmic reset. Premium Plus subscribers get this event included with their subscription. For others, the event is $19.99. Whether you join live or watch the recording added to your library, this experience will empower you for what's to come.
Yeah.